Greetings, everyone. This is me again. Excuse me. Sarah Berserk here. I wanted to finish this, so this is a good time to finish the Surah Azab commentary and 36 ayat on 36 and 37 ayat. So taking logical reasoning, and the Quran ayats step by step, and not reaching to conclusions about, the end was good for these believers. they so Zainab bint Josh couldn't couldn't fully, like Galtoffer was saying in my previous live stream, she couldn't fully commit to the marriage. So initially she did accept the marriage proposal without, unwillingly, right? Forced. It was a forced marriage on her. And initially she didn't like it, but like the verse goes that believers have to accept this, obey Allah and the messenger. So coming to the ayat, so you can see this. I hope this time I'm able to explain it for once and for all properly. Surah Azab, verse 36. It is not fitting for a believer, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, to have any option about their decision. If anyone disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he is indeed on a clearly wrong path. So now coming to the Shia commentary, I'm on this Shia commentary, right? So once we finish with this, then you will, Sunni Islam has all these ridiculous hadiths and all, embarrassing for the Muslims. Some of them are. So then we'll be finished with Islam. Because this will prove that he's a false prophet, and this is a false religion. So very easy, very easy. And I'm not saying it I'm taking from the commentary section also, you see, and then comparing it with other ayats, the commentary section also. Why did this marriage fail? And it should not have failed with Zainab bin Josh should not have failed in her marriage with Zaid. Salahuddin has come, says salam. Wa alaikum assalam, Salahuddin. Salam, sister. May love, peace, and blessings be always with you. Same to you and your family members, and everyone you know, your friends, and your country. Thank you, Salahuddin, very much. So welcome here. Okay, so here I'll just start again. You'll have to see my previous live stream for this and the one previous to that. So I'll just continue from where I left off in my previous live stream. So Kalthofer asked a good question, gave a good statement here, and I agreed to him, but I have to correct myself on this. So let me see, I've just taken a screenshot of what he says here is that in my previous live stream, I said, yes, Kalthofer said she fully committed, but where is the blessing that is promised to her for fully committing? So, sorry, I cannot see the chat right now. So she fully committed, but where is the blessing that is promised to her for fully committing? No, initially she obeyed. She had to obey against her choice. So initially she obeyed, we are told. And so I have been proving that since she initially obeyed and married Zed, right? Wait a minute. She initially obeyed and married Zed against her choice, right? So then God should have helped her put the love in her heart for Zed. And the Shia say that both were good believers. So we have some hints from the Shia commentary that I want to tell you, show you, not tell you, but show you that this is wrong. If you say they were both good believers, but Zainab failed to commit fully to her marriage, then that is wrong. And that should not be. Zainab should not only be blamed, but Zainab should not fail in fully committing herself to this marriage. So certain Quran ayats I've shown you, like when God puts love in the hearts of those who believe and do good deeds. Surah Maryam, ayat 96, I think. You can check, and if I'm wrong, I correct myself. The number ayat 96. And we have Surah, which one is it now? Again, going down, sorry. If you give all you have. So this is the spoils of war, Surah Anfal, verse 63. If you had spent whatever is in the earth, all not, you could have put affection between their hearts. But Allah has put affection between them. So taking these verses and again looking at this verse also and the Surah Maryam verse 96 about the love thing. Yes, it's 96. Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, the most merciful will appoint for them affection. So it was Prophet Muhammad's, you know the background about this, it was Prophet Muhammad's wish that Zainab should marry Zaid, and so there would, this would be a good example to show that there is, Islam wants equality and not status, not to see the status of a person when you should get married to the person. You know, high status or low status or like that. Middle status, whatever it is. So that's why he offered Zainab to marry Zaid, but it says that it is a command. She has to obey against her will even. She didn't agree, the Shia commentary says here, she didn't agree to marry Zaid. She wanted to reject the proposal and have her, you know, choice, implement her choice in this, like apply her choice at the time. Let's read the Shia commentary now again, because my way of explaining is terrible. So was celebrated in Makkah 8 years before the Hijrat. At the time of their marriage, when she was informed by the Holy Prophet, she did not like the proposal. She did not like the proposal, so her brother Abdullah bin Josh and both of them According to Imam Muhammad bin Ali al-Bakr, the fifth Imam of the 12 Shiyas, excuse me again, sorry about this, wanted to exercise their freedom of choice in this matter. Then this verse was revealed. It is not fitting for a believer, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, to have any option about their decision. If anyone disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he is indeed on a clearly wrong path. Right? He's indeed clearly on a wrong path. So, she did not like the proposal. So her brother Abdullah bin Josh and both of them, both of them didn't agree to this proposal, didn't like it. So then what happened? And both of them, according to Imam Muhammad bin Ali al-Bakr, wanted to exercise their freedom of choice in this matter. Then this verse was revealed. We must not put. So then this verse was revealed above, and furthermore, we must not put our wisdom in competition with Allah's wisdom. And we must accept it loyally and do the best we can to carry it out. I mean, remain committed in this marriage. So thank you, Kaltofer, for that word, committed. Fully committed, right? And we must make our will consonant to the will of Allah, same as to the will of Allah, our will. Also refer to the commentary of Nisa 65. Zainab the highborn could not reconcile herself with Zaid. This is in the marriage now also. And so why couldn't she when she had to accept this, right, according to this verse? Believers, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, they have no option about their decision. And in this case is Zainab and Zaid's case. Marriage, proposal, this, that, right? And fully committing to the marriage. So why now, I don't understand if a Shia can explain to me that not going to the conclusion and saying all went right, Prophet Muhammad got her out of the misery, married her, gave her the status of Ummul Mu'mineen, and Zaid was martyred in the Battle of Mu'tah. And the wisdom of Allah in this is that we don't know, or maybe to establish a law equality. Prophethood does not deprive the Prophet and his family of essential human rights, divinely legislated for all, it says here. So for his family also, depriving not. So why force Zainab bin Josh? I mean, this is like forced marriage. So you've curbed her freedom of right to choose, exercise her choice in this matter, her right to choose who should be her marriage partner, right? So this is a good thing here, what Aka Mehdi Puya says. Prophethood does not deprive the Prophet and his family of essential human rights, divinely legislated for all. You would say essential human rights. sorry, essential, right? So even if it's essential human rights, why not give her the freedom to decide? So you'll say, no, she was chosen, but she's not a godly person. We see that she can't endure in her marriage commitment. She can't keep the commitment fully, which she's supposed to. Carry it out, it says. We are loyally, we must accept it loyally. Because this is saying, it gives me a clue. This is itself saying, the commentary, Shia commentary, we must accept it loyally and do the best we can to carry it out. Yet you're saying she tried her best and she failed. How could it be? Because I showed you the Quran verses that upon marriage, even like God is the one, no, not upon marriage, but God is the one who puts love in the hearts of the believers. And we say when we get married on our nikah time, akad time, that Allah sends blessings, and even if it's arranged marriage, God can put love in your heart for your husband if it's not there, if you only like him. But here we're told Zainab didn't even like the proposal. So where are the blessings of Allah and Prophet Muhammad himself, who is present here? But for our marriages, what do? We invoke Allah for the blessings, and we even recite the Durood Sharif, which is like blessings of Allah be on Prophet Muhammad and his progeny, and moreover, what the Sunni Durood Sharif is. Abraham, Sahabas, and Abraham and the family of Abraham. So this means Prophet Muhammad, the mercy of Allah, his blessing when the guardian is there, and they both loved Prophet, the Prophet, it says here. And both of them, no, here it says somewhere here, both of them, both loved the Holy Prophet. Both were good believers. So, both should be, Zainab should have been committed fully then. Once you, let's say you start, you say, Bismillah, I'll put my effort. Okay, even if it is against my choice, I'm forced to marry him because of this. When the matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, you have no choice, believers. Right? So let's work this out logically. So, step by step. And with the Quran ayats. God puts love in the hearts. And moreover, we are told here that Prophet Muhammad, the Holy Prophet, tried his best to prevent separation between them. Okay, because Zainab's reputation would be ruined. Hello, who is this? Asha Churoria is here. There's no existence. There is no existence, Muhammad. Asha Churoria says, man-made Allah and man-made right Quran. Yes, but Asha Churoria, we have to give evidence, right? That's right, but more hard work is that we have to give the evidence that whether Muhammad, I don't know whether Muhammad existed or not, but surely his family did exist. Imam Hussein did exist. We have his shrine, and his meaning his body is buried in Karbala, right? And so 9 years age Aisha okay, or Pak 53 years age Muhammad. Yeah, 9 years age Aisha. So some say that well, if it was 9 years, he had to establish a rule. Oh God, again some sound in the background. Let me just close the, so there would be no something here. There'll be no sound. Sorry about the delay here. Okay. So, Shia or Sunni, like Sunni hadiths have more ridiculous things about Prophet Muhammad. He said, then you can easily see that he's a false prophet. Doesn't have to take much. Even from Surah Abasa, where the Sunnis say that he frowned, the Prophet frowned. Shia say the Sahaba, it was one of the Sahabas who frowned at the blind man. Okay, so, but so please pay attention here, Asha Churoria, because I haven't even gotten to the 37th ayat. Okay, so please see this, that here there's a fallacy. So you may, please, you may reach a conclusion that it all turned out in the end well. But I'm telling you here, there's a fallacy. No reasonable man can accept this. Yeah, so Aisha was 9 years old, but she was not a godly person to establish a rule of law, right, Asha Churoria? And so they say that, like, if she was a godly person and, to establish a law for the Muslims, is that when you're 9 years old, you're eligible to get married or to start praying. You're eligible for marriage. Asha Churoria says day by day increase ex-Muslim atheists in the world. Really? Wow, that if that is true, if what you say is true, then that is good news. They can decide for themselves freely how they want to live their lives, you know, become good human beings and have the freedom also to choose. Asha Churoria says 40% ex-Muslim atheists in Iran. Okay, that's very good. Thank God. If that is good news, I mean, if that is true news, then that is really good news. Okay. So, I apologize if I make mistakes. Please correct me in your minds. Words sometimes don't come easy. Explanations don't come easy. I'm not prepared. I'm also broken. So, in this broken state, but I'm telling you, this logic doesn't work here. For the life of me, I don't get it. I see, I mean, I get it. And I know that this is wrong logic. You see how this person has deceived you. To marry Zainab somehow, or punish her for her first husband. How come her first husband's name is not given here? In Wikipedia, I found out in her life history that her first husband's name is missing. So we don't know what he wanted to do with her. And even like all this, you can. I know. I've been a Shia, so I was told that Zainab was his cousin. So why would he do this if that story coming from the Islamic sources is true? Which even now I've seen the Muslims reject and saying it's a false story. But it's from them. It's from Tabari, or who is it from? So it's from the Islamic sources that he went to Zaid's house. Prophet Muhammad went to Zaid's house and found Zainab there in a shift and became attracted to her. So the Shia say, well, she was his cousin. Why would he all of a sudden become attracted to her and seeing her in a shift in her house like that? He could have, why would he then even suggest Zainab? First, I was told as a Shia that it was just a suggestion, and that was also wrong, according to this ayat 36 of Surah Azab, it's not a suggestion, it's a command to obey against your will even. And so surrender your will to the decisions made by Allah and the Messenger about your lives. So if anyone disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he is indeed on a clearly wrong path. Or believers, it is not fitting for a woman, or so like that. I'm going up and down and I'd like around, right? And Zainab is not a godly woman also, that all these Muslims were high godly believers, got together and said, okay, we all, you can see it's not, they could not all cooperate, so that you can apply this and say, yeah, so God, these believers, they sacrificed their lives, and also for the later believers, there may be no difficulty to the believers in the matter of marriage with the wives of their adopted sons when the latter have dissolved with the necessary formality their marriage with them, meaning ex-wives, ex-husbands, and Allah's command must be fulfilled. And then you see in verse 37 also, behold, thou didst say to the one who had received the grace of Allah and thy favor, meaning the Prophet's favor, retain thou in wedlock thy wife, meaning keep your wife and fear Allah. But thou didst, but who is this one who's hiding in his heart? It's not Zaid, it's Prophet Muhammad. But you hid in your heart. I'm just using easy English language, okay? That which Allah was about to make manifest. Disclose. Allah was about to disclose. Right? And what was this? That he would marry Zaid's ex-wife. There would be a divorce. And Prophet Muhammad would have to marry Zaid's ex-wife. Then why is he telling Zaid to keep his wife? When it was also, see this from ayat 37, that it was Zainab who was highborn. And so both, okay, here we are told mutual incompatibility was there. Mutual incompatibility, and this proved to be the cause of separation between them. But here, also refer to the commentary of Nisa, ayat 65. Zainab the highborn could not reconcile herself with Zaid, highborn, and Zaid was a lowborn. Another point I keep saying this. Why did Rasulullah tell Zaid, as we are told in this ayat 37, keep your wife and fear Allah? Why telling Zaid? Instead of going to his cousin Zainab, right, and telling her, because she was the one who was the highborn. And also this wish of Prophet Muhammad to tell them that Islam is equality now, no more marriage of high status and low status and, like that, choosing. So he wanted Zainab to come say that, take this Zaid, even though, like as her husband, even though he was a freed slave or a slave before, and of maybe low status. So equality in Islam. And also remembering this, that there were slave girls, although there's a ayat which is given, but there are slave girls What are these? Surah Nisa ayat. Is it 25? So if Prophet Muhammad wished that Zainab come down, equality for all, not come down, but, Mary said the slave, freed slave of Khadija, according to the Sunnis, or Muhammad himself, according to the Shias, and adopted son, but of low birth. Surah Nisa 25 says here, there's an ayat which says ransom slaves, you can ransom, free them by payment. What does it say? Marry, and whoever is not able to among you afford to marry the free chaste, the believing women, free, the free chaste, mahsanati, okay, mu'minati, believing women, then marry from what possessed your right hands of your slave girls. What's this? Of the believers, and Allah knows best. Fatayat. What's this?
فتياتكم.
Fatayatikumu, your slave girls. Or the yatim? No. Yatik. Yatikumu. Fatayatikumu. Who are these girls? What your right hands possess of fatayatikumu, your slave girls, or, but they are lower in status than these free, believing, chaste, believing women.
المؤمنات المحصنات.
The free, chaste, right? So there is a lower status than the free, chaste women here. And so, of the believers, and Allah knows best about your faith, you are from one another. Okay, you are from one another, but these have another kind of status from the free, chaste, believing women. They have come into your possession through, like, maybe, if I may guess, spoils of war, after the war captives, after war captives, women captives, slave girls, slave women, married. Huh? So if you say it was Muhammad's wish in that ayat, and you can then read the whole ayat here, but going back, right? So if you have fear of some desire that you can't control and can't even keep patience in rare cases, they say, but you can't deny that there are these slave girls or fatayatakum, what your right hands possess, whoever they are, sorry, of the believing, who? Of the believing, let me also, of the believers, fatayatakum. If you can't marry free chaste, then marry, and whoever, let's go slow, until the other time when there's too much noise outside, then I will leave. And if my condition allows me to go as far as I can finish this today, because I really want to finish this today, I hope I don't miss any ayats and I go in detail. To open your eyes, you see, there is not sufficient proof beyond reasonable doubt that this was a true prophet. And so much is at stake. And even Zainab lost out. Not in conclusion, uh, like at the end of the day, she married Prophet Muhammad. But, there's a lot at stake here. She was miserable with Zaid. Her marriage broke. Why be miserable? When Allah has told you and then she agreed against her will to make her will consonant with Allah, surrender to Allah's will, then she must fully be committed to marriage. And Allah will put love in your hearts. Those who believe and do good works, Allah puts love in, the gracious God puts love in their hearts. Surah Maryam, ayat 96. So the moment Zainab, against her will, said yes, okay, she didn't like the proposal, she said yes, that's it. Then Allah should have mercy and should help the believer that the marriage will endure, carry on. And He would put love in their hearts between these two couples. Right? So, oh, sorry, I have to just forgot to connect my mic here. Okay? Uh, so, you see this? There is apart from the free, chaste, believing women, then marry from what possessed your right hands of your slave girls, فَيَ however, fatay yatiqumu. However, the Shias may take this, the believers, and Allah knows best about your faith. You are from one another, so marry them with the permission of their family and give them bridal due. In a fair manner, chaste they should be, not those who commit immorality, and not those who take secret lovers. Then, when they are married, and if they commit adultery, then for them is half of what is on the free chaste women, of the punishment that is for whoever fears committing sin, and that you be patient of the punishment. That, okay, so now I have to read in translation this part. So unmarried, this allowance is for him among you who fears affliction, meaning fornication. So, but to be patient is better for you, and Allah is forgiving and merciful. So here we're told that this is in rare cases, so that adultery, and fornication, sleeping around, even when single, not married, is terrible in the sight of Allah. It destroys, it stops blessings of Allah to reach you. It destroys you and the society and your family and all this. It's bad, harmful. So that's why Allah kept this for rare cases where you fear fornication. As a single man, you just want to sleep around. You have to fulfill your desire, right? Sorry. So I have to put it this way. Now, but there are this, right? And these women have half the punishment of what a full chaste woman, free believing woman would have if she committed adultery in marriage. You see this? So no, equality low birth, high birth, you may say there, Zainab's case and Zaid's case. But there is a low, this, although not said, it's implied, it's there. So why didn't you allow Zainab to not, just, it was her choice. She didn't want to marry Zaid. But you put that blame on her that she thought she's highborn, whereas you say here you've kept free believing women if you cannot afford. Then marry what your right hands possess of believing slave girls or women. Own of your Muslim girls. If one cannot afford to marry the free Muslim women, then he may marry the one you people own of your Muslim girls. Another translation. Believing women, free believing women, free is in brackets here. Believing women, then let him take from the believing handmaids that your right hands possess. And for them is also half punishment, but that's not the point here. The point, very good, but the point here is there are some lower than the free believing women, or the believing women full-fledged somehow. I don't know how you would put it. Then these. You can use. So if you think no, both of them are equal, but they're not, right? However you may put it, but they're not equal. Those are free believing women, or mahsanati. And these are another type of women that you can marry, and then God even gives an allowance here. If they commit adultery in marriage with you, believing men, then half of the punishment for them. Okay, and and also this allowance is for him among you who fears affliction. But once you are sheltered in marriage, if these girls, women should commit adultery, then for them is half of the punishment for free unmarried women. So please work this out. I don't think. Oh, now I have to do mental gymnastics of who are the free unbelieving, unmarried women, believing women. Free, I don't know. So back to this. So going step by step, please. Not in conclusion. Here it fails logically. Reasoning. What are we told in Quran? That use your reason, Surah Yunus, ayat 100. Otherwise, God will put abomination on you. What did Aka Medipuya say in his commentary that I can't show you right now? I don't know where it was, under which ayat. That to every reasonable person, this Quran will prove that it does not fail in that reason, and you will accept this Quran as the word of God, or all that. So in the commentary, this commentary section of the Shias has helped me. And so once you leave Shia Islam, you won't like to go to the Sunni Islam. Or you'll just read the Quran only. You can't do that. How will you pray 5 times a day? Both of them, according to this, I read, we must accept it loyally and do the best we can to carry it out. Commit fully to the marriage. this means. Thank you, Kaltoffer, for that committing. But the Shias and this say, the Hadith says that she couldn't commit fully to the marriage. There was mutual incompatibility. This is questionable. Since the Prophet is there, his blessings, he can pray for them, and we're told he tried his best to prevent separation between them. The Holy Prophet tried his best. This is according to the Quran verses and applying reason. This does not stand to logical deduction. It is a fallacy. Taking the Quran ayats also, where if a believer obeys and he's always successful and they cannot be miserable and they cannot fear their reputation. But we're told Zainab, if you say that obeying the Prophet, Allah and the Prophet will give you success in the end, you will get paradise. Okay. But here in this world there are trials and tribulations. But when you have the mercy of Allah on earth, the Holy Prophet is what? And he's ardently desirous of your welfare, that ayat. It grieves him to see you have gone into trouble. So it is a false Allah and Allah. You see, they were both good believers. Good believers. Both were good believers, meaning Zayd and Zainab, the highborn who thought, could not reconcile herself with Zayd, but both were good believers. Please don't. So, both were good believers, right? But then, and the Holy Prophet is there, trying his best to prevent the separation between them. So, what made you think that because Zainab could not reconcile herself with Zayd, this marriage had to break? Despite Holy Prophet trying his best, despite the ayats, that if, then how can you say that even in the end you will be successful? Where Allah says it is incumbent on us to help the believers. In this life also, right? So now, when she was a widow, Quraysh widow, she was not worried about her reputation. But here we're told because Zainab's reputation would be ruined. Now she's worried about her reputation. But as marriage should be according to Allah's plan, of course. So the ayats, the commentary is giving you clues. Marriage should be according to Allah's plan, successful, right? Yes, look, a source of happiness, not torture, according to Allah's plan. A source of happiness in this world, not torture. Islam permits the bond of marriage to be dissolved. So if Allah's plan is that a marriage should be a source of happiness and not torture, and these both are believers, and Zainab went against her will, the ayat came, 36, to obey Allah and the Messenger. They've decided for you believers, men and women. Then are you saying that what are the Shias? Even the Sunnis, forget them. Sorry, right? Even if the Sunnis say the same thing as Shias say, what are you saying? You're going against Allah's plan for keeping the marriage. And Zainab, then you would be blaming Zainab for, then you would, but don't blame Zainab. They covered up Zainab, saying that no, she was highborn, but somehow her disposition, she just could not get along with Zaid. Her nafs, or through something of her conditioning, you cannot say that anymore. Now this is believers, and what is for the believers? Once you obey and you don't mean to Now, in the marriage, she meant to disobey? No, she tried her best. So Allah should have helped her. Okay, like when this Ali's marriage with the Fatima, Jibrail came in the Shia side, right? So खुदा पाक ने दो हिस्से मिला दिए. This that they he merged the two of them in love, eternal. This, right? So sending blessings for Fatima and Ali's marriage, that even their progeny will be blessed. Thereafter, the Imams will be guiding you, Shias. So seeing this case here, can you see? Now they are making a case about saying that, but as marriage should be according to Allah's plan, a source of happiness, not torture. Islam permits the divorce, dissolution of marriage contract. But take the other way, that we have the blessings of Allah. This is not just a philosophical, like some, what is this? This is, how shall I say it? This is Allah's blessings are here, mercy of Allah is here. Then you're saying somehow Zainab failed in marriage. No, she didn't fail Allah. She's a good Muslim. She's a good believer with Zaid also. Both of them good believers. She didn't fail Allah. She didn't fail Prophet Muhammad. She accepted the proposal, even though if it was against her will, against her choice. She didn't like it, but she accepted it. But she didn't fail. She didn't fail. So what failed? She was not disobedient, defiantly disobedient. If you disobey Allah and the Messenger, so then Prophet Muhammad found out during her marriage. No, he was a cousin. He knew she was highborn. She felt she was highborn widow. Do you see the logical fallacy with the Quran ayats? That Allah is the one who blesses. For example, that ayat in Surah Maryam, those who believe and do good deeds, Allah the gracious Lord creates love in their hearts. Right? We have blessings, spiritual mercy of Allah. We have spiritual prayers. We are given prayers, blessings. If we send blessings on the Prophet and his progeny, what will happen? Allah and the angels send blessings on the Prophet. So salute him with a mighty salutation, believers are told. And he's closer to you than, he's closer to the believers than their own selves. Surah Azab ayats. These are ayats, these are not hadiths. I'm just not showing you the ayats and I'm putting them in my own words. So, how can the Holy Prophet tried his best to prevent separation between them? Two believers, good believers, we are told earlier. So, how can it fail? Because Zainab's reputation would be ruined. So, can you blame Zainab? Now, because Zainab's reputation would be ruined, she was a widow of Quraysh and she felt she didn't have any problem with her reputation. She was not worried about her reputation. Izzat. in society, her respect, her reputation in society is, her name. When she was a Quraysh widow, here we're told she's worried about her reputation, ruined. No, she's not worried, but Zainab's reputation would be ruined, we are told. But as marriage should be according to Allah's plan. So, hello, Shias. Marriage should be according to Allah's plan, a source of happiness. So, if it's Allah's plan and you have submitted fully, Allah should bless this marriage, Baba. Allah should bless this marriage. Allah should bless Zainab as a wife of Zaid. Salahuddin says, poor Iranians, what do they know about Islam? Salahuddin, except a little, they don't Arabic, the language of Islam. There are Iraqis also, and the Iranians have learned Arabic, I'm sure. You can go to Qum and study. It's the same as going to Najaf, Iraq, and studying. So there are Iraqi Arabs. You can study your Islam. Shias can go to Qum, Iran. It's kind of the same as going to Najaf, Imam Ali's place, where his shrine is. Iraq, Arabic, Iraqi Arabics. So now please don't put the blame on Iranians that they don't know the language of Islam. What about the Iraqi Shias and Muslims? So what are you insinuating, right? Here, please don't interfere like this, because as it is, it's very hard for me to explain properly. How many times? And don't, now you want to blame it on the Iranians. What about the Arabs, Iraqi Shia Arabs? Salahuddin. What about the Shia Iraqi Arabs? Wasn't your fourth caliph also Ali in Iraq? Najaf? Damascus? Syria? So why are you blaming the Iranians now? That they don't know the language of Islam. Don't except a little, they don't Arabic, the language of Islam. What this? You are now blaming the Shias? Iranian Shias? Are they leaving Islam, the Iraqis? Iranians are leaving Islam because they have understood that this, what I have been explaining here, and what Armin Nawabi has been explaining on his channel, maybe, right? And those of you who know Arabic think this Islam is great? Without thinking, without reasoning, without proof beyond reasonable doubt? Blindly following? Huh? Because those Iranians realized, those 40%, what you're saying, you're talking to Asha Churorias, You late reply to Asha Chororia anyways. So here we have, you can see, you don't need to be an expert in Arabic to see this, that he was a false prophet. Those experts, tell me what is the meaning of nikah. Experts. So now he's answered Asha Chororia a bit late because he can't take this. Please see, reasonable people, I'm appealing to you, not someone like Salah ad-Din, who still is bent on believing in this religion, the lies. You don't have to be an expert in Arabic to know he was a false prophet. You can do smart studying, smart reading. So, Salahuddin, are you telling me that poor this Zahra, she left Islam, doesn't even know Arabic, the language of Islam? You're saying the same thing for me? Bring your elder people. Bring your mufti here. Bring your mufti. So, okay? You don't bring an honest person here. If you can find a Muslim honest person, bring them here who uses reason also. So you Salahuddin, you think you know Arabic and you have understood Islam. You are an expert in Arabic. Okay, so see this, this Shia thing. Once we are done, I show you. And please, if someone tells you that you need to know Arabic, this Quran, some of the words even the Arabs don't know, we are told. Thank God now we have these critics on YouTube, foreigners. There is a saint, who's Saint ex-Muslim, an Arab, who says that this some Arabic words, they are from the from some other Aramaic or some other language, Syrian language or something. Then this Surah Ikhlas would make sense, or Surah Qasr. First of all, in this Quran, I have seen videos of ex-Muslims that some of the words are not even pure Arabic words. And you don't have to. You can do smart research and find out. So now, this prophet says, what is he saying in 37? Now, since now Salahuddin has interfered, right? I have to jump to 37 before explaining the commentary section also. If an adopted son is not the real son, then why did Prophet Muhammad practice the pagan idol worshipping? Ask yourselves, Shias. The Sunnis will get out of this, saying that he was a pagan. He didn't even know he didn't know he was a prophet. At that time, God had not chosen him. So this, and then, behold, you said to the one who had received the grace of Allah in thy favor, your favor, who had received your favor, retain thou in wedlock thy wife, and fear Allah. But you hid in your heart that which Allah was to make manifest. So you see, even this English that I'm reading, the English translation of 37 ayat, I can read it in my own words and it doesn't make much of a difference. Explain it in simple English language, and it doesn't make an iota of difference. But you hid in your heart that which Allah was about to make manifest, bring out. Why did you hid in your heart, Prophet? You're telling Zaid, you should be a good marriage counselor. So, but that's why they say he hid in his heart what Allah was to reveal, and you feared the people, because now Allah was going to reveal that he's supposed to marry Zaid's ex-wife Zainab, his cousin. So you would say he hid in his heart, and Zaid is supposed to try his best and fear Allah. Is this the way? Look, if friends have advisory suggestions, when you are not sure, and when you can give yourselves and be marriage counselors for each other, friends, between friends. But this is between a holy prophet who is God conscious. This is not something like suggesting each other as friends. Oh no, maybe your husband is like this. Maybe no. This is the word of Allah and the Prophet saying, retain your wife and fear Allah. Keep your wife and fear Allah. While knowing, so couldn't Allah have given him a better counseling to give to Zaid to retain his wife? And it was Zainab who was having a problem with Zaid. However, we are told in the commentary section that there was mutual incompatibility between them, right? Mutual incompatibility between them, but both loved the Holy Prophet. But there was mutual incompatibility. But the problem was mostly from Zainab. We are told here she was the highborn and could not reconcile herself with Zaid. She could not reconcile. So tell Zainab, go to her house, or tell your cousin to be fully committed in marriage with Zaid now, and fear Allah. For Allah will bless you in this marriage. I will pray for you. Blessings will come. Where is that? Where take alms out of the wealth for them and pray for them. Surely your prayer is a source of security and peace for them. Surah Tawbah ayat. And He sanctifies your life. He purifies your life. The messenger, right? This messenger purifies your life. Where's that ayat? In the Quran. It is there. So if He purifies your life, this messenger, he purifies. This marriage should be blessed after Zainab accepted the marriage against her will, against her choice. What Allah and the messenger have decided, obey. The messenger purifies them. Quran ayat. You get it? The blessings should be there now. Indeed, Allah has done the believers a great favor by raising a messenger from among them, reciting to them His revelations. Great favor. Purifying them and teaching them the book and wisdom. You know what is this purifying them? So God helps. God should have, it was now, according to the Quran ayats now also. So taking Quran ayats, that God should have put love in the heart of Zainab for Zaid, as He tells us He does. It is on him to do. when a believer, when there's those who believe and do good deeds, the gracious God creates love in their hearts. So create love in the couple's hearts, right? Zainab also, in Zainab's heart for her husband Zaid. This is Al Imran verse 164 I just recited about the messenger purifying them. You need to be purified because I showed you in one of my previous live streams before all this that Hazrat Yusuf said what? The soul is inclined to evil. So you can work your very, very hard. Work as hard as you like. But what did Yusuf say? If God had not helped me, had mercy on me, I would have not been guilt-free. I would have given in to Zulekha's seduction and assault, attack, right? So he purifies you. And God would have also blessed this marriage. God should have. The blessing would mean that Zainab bin Josh suddenly falls in love with Zaid on her nikah night, akad, marriage contract, nikah, falls in love. Prophet is there. Their marriage was celebrated. Prophet is present, the Prophet of mercy. Blessings are needed. Sometimes, being scared like, oh my God, I love this person, but what if I don't get the blessing of Allah for my marriage? It could fail. So Allah's agreement, plan for my marriage should be there. Maybe there's something like, I think it is good for me, but it is not good for me. The Quran ayat says, maybe this is not true love, I would think like that, right? You may think that something is good for you. So now that it is, can you see it? I've established, right, that this is a false Allah, but through this arguments about this case, Zainab and said, something is good, you think something is good, but it is bad for you. Maybe it is just an infatuation, and I'm thinking I love this person, whereas I'm just infatuated by this person, infatuated on this person, or by this person. It is not good for you. Let's see if I get it easily. Fighting has been enjoyed while it is hateful to you. But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you. And perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. Thank you. So you see, I would be scared. Surah Baqarah ayat 216. Fighting is enjoined upon you while it is hard on you. It could be that you dislike something when it is good for you, and it could be that you like something when it is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know. So there we are told in the commentary section under Surah Azab verse 36 that Zainab did not like the proposal that Prophet Muhammad sent to her for Zaid, of Zaid, right? Marriage proposal. So then she didn't like it. But it may be that you don't like a thing which is good for you. Take this ayat also. And that 36th ayat, Surah Azab. When a matter has been decided for you, believers, men and women, you can't say no to it, because then you'll be going to the wrong path. It means that you will be on the right path, the right marriage, right person, blessing of Allah, love of Allah will bless you with love, create love in your hearts. You will succeed in your marriage. No trial and tribulation on this matter. You obeyed Allah against your will, and the messenger you obeyed against your will. They decided for you. You didn't like it. You obeyed. Right? So now here, she obeyed. Zainab obeyed. She must. So God. Now, Much, why are you, if not blaming, you're not fully blaming Zainab, but you're saying they're good Muslims, both of them, but Zainab just couldn't bring herself to fully commit herself to the marriage and be a source of happiness for her husband. You can't say that anymore, because if you say that, what is wrong here? What is wrong? Allah is there to bless the marriage. Rasulullah is there. He puts his best effort. It's not like a friend putting his best effort. It's not like your mother and father putting in their best effort. It is the Prophet who can even pray for you and purify you, we are told. Your souls he can purify. Your lives he can purify. He can purify your marriage, your heart. Any problem you have within yourself, like we are told in Surah Nisa ayat 64 or 46. What? And Surah Hashar ayat 7, whatever the messenger gives to you, take it. And whatever he refrains you from, stay away from. Right? And surely you would succeed in that. Mankind was of one religion before that deviation, then Allah sent prophets. So now, so this ayat you can see Surah Baqarah also. Okay, so right, very good. That fighting is enjoined upon you, which is hard on you. It could be that you dislike something when it is good for you, and it could be that you like something when it is bad for you. Allah knows, and you do not know. So Allah is telling you here. So you know now. And then Zainab went against her will. And what about the other ayat, Surah Nisa ayat? No, sorry. Surah Nisa ayat, and you see this? Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, the most merciful will appoint affection or love in their hearts. Affection, it says, okay? Affection. So why not in Zainab's case? To bless Zainab with this and create in her heart affection for her husband Zaid at that time. What else is there? Surah Nisa ayat 65 says, to those, you can never be a believer, but know by your Lord, not will they believe until they make you judge about what arises between them. Okay, between them, then not they find in themselves, they don't find in themselves any discomfort about what you have decided. You, who? Not Allah. Prophet Muhammad has decided. And submit with full submission, in full submission, taslima. So now Zainab, they're saying, oh, Zainab was a good believer, but she couldn't, just couldn't bring herself. She was highborn. She couldn't get along with Zed. But when you submit your will, you take, like they say, you take one step towards Allah, and Allah takes 100 steps towards you. God takes, and this is not between friends, suggestions, and you know, or what is this? You're playing with one life, marriage, two lives, and you're saying, oh Allah. Then in conclusion, you're saying she became Mu'mineen, and Zaid became a martyr going to Battle of Muta. No, no, no. Here it you step by step before. See, here it fails because believers are successful, right? In every walk of life, even if you have trials and tribulations. And marriage is supposed to be a source of happiness. When Allah and Rasulullah have told Zainab bin Josh, for goodness sakes, this means that this marriage would be so blessed that maybe imams can come out of this marriage. Forget Ali and Fatima. You know what I mean? And when Zainab, against her will, choice, she was not given a choice. She was rejected. Her choice was rejected. That she didn't like. She wanted to choose and say, please, she wanted to exercise. She was forced into this marriage. So as a believer, because she was, excuse me, I had to put something in my mouth. So once she obeyed Allah and the Messenger, when she didn't like a thing, she obeyed, right? And she went on with the marriage. But not fully committed. She couldn't commit. In the middle of the marriage, she's like, you join military. You see, someone in London told me he was that his country was, in his country it is necessary, obligatory to join the military at some time for men, right? How do you say it? So if you join the military and then for some reason you say, you have to give a very good reason. In the middle of the military, this thing, what do you call now? I'm lost for words. You join the military. You have to. Your country says join the military. So you've joined the military. You're doing these trainings, and then you say, no, I want to leave the military in the middle. Or after some time, I want to leave military. No, now you cannot leave the military. Right? Unless you have a valid reason. Like, God forbid, if you become blind or you lose an arm or mentally, when you join, you're not mentally fit or you lose your mind or something. But this cannot be a valid reason from Zainab. So easy, so easy. If you see this, I wouldn't have to go through, uh, you know, do Iranians know enough English? It may be the second. They have the Quran in Irani, Salahuddin. You know, this website, Indonesian translation of Because now you'll see even the Indonesians, like how have they understood Islam, right? So Salahuddin says here, do Iranians know English? It may be the second language of Islam today. Yes. And it may be the third language or not the language of Islam. But do Indonesian Muslims know Arabic? Is Arabic the mother tongue? No, but we have translations of the Quran. So are you going to make a English person, British, English speaking, how will you go to him and say, believe in this? Huh? How will you go to a British dawah with your dawah and tell a British man? They will have to study the Quran in Arabic, right? But it's not their first language, it's not their mother tongue. So sorry, you can then, with this kind of reasoning, you cannot then invite any non-Arabic person into Islam because they don't know Arabic. Arabic is not their first language. The reasoning you are giving here, it would be unfair. And didn't Muhammad invite the Persians and the Roman Empire king to Islam? What did he use? Arabic is not their first language. And had the whole Quran come on him, whereas the believers are failing here to keep their marriage, and you're giving reasons which reason itself will be laughing. Sunnis, Shias both. And you have ridiculous hadiths in the Shias, Sunnis, more than what the Shias have. Can the blind man see the Prophet frowning at him? Can a prophet frown at a blind man? When God is teaching him there, he's a prophet, he doesn't know how to act with a blind man, his manners, and then you say exalted character, you should emulate him. Quran ayats have come on that. A Quran ayat, follow him, follow his example, he's of high moral character. When I looked at that Surah Abasa and then asked my Shia, they said, no, this is not the Prophet, this is the Sahaba. And then you look at, if this was, I would think that better I follow Jesus Christ, who healed a blind man, who had the power given to him by Allah to heal a blind man. When a blind man came to him, he saw a blind man, Jesus Christ. Jesus of Nazareth, or the greatest story ever told. And maybe in the Bible, there is this incident mentioned. Jesus, so see, diverting from Jesus cured a blind man, gave him eyesight, cured a blind man. Bible. John 9, Jesus heals a man born blind. As he went along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents? Bible Gateway, thank you. I don't mean to don't mean to infringe copyrights. As he went along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Neither this man nor his parents sinned. said Jesus. But this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. After saying this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. Go, he told him, wash in the pool of Siloam. This word means sent. So the man went and washed and came home seeing. I would rather choose this, Jesus Christ, than your prophet. You know Arabic, right? And you have worked it out that in Surah Abasa, the prophet frowns at a blind man and turns away from him. And God rebukes him for this, admonishes him never to do something like this again, what he did. And yet there's a verse that says, emulate him, imitate him, follow him, and also imitate him. His moral character is very exalted, high, great. Ayats on that. He, now your Arabic, Saudi Arabia, Wahhabis, Sunnis, majority, the Iranian Shias, Iraqi Shias, unanimously Shias around the world, Pakistani Shias, Canadian Shias, everywhere, will tell you that he was not prophet. He frowned and turned away. You know why? Because God gives him, admonishes him. So they say, no, no, this can't be the prophet. And they have the hadiths, they have their notes. A multilingual Quran, I can show you the commentary. But what would make you perceive, O Muhammad, that perhaps he might be purified? So we have sent a messenger to purify you. And he frowned and turned away. When a blind man came to him, he frowned and turned away. Because there came to him the blind man, interrupting. So what? Then, I'm not saying it. If you're putting here in brackets, interrupting, God rebukes him. God is rebuking Prophet Muhammad in these ayahs. But what made you perceive, O Muhammad, that perhaps he might be purified? Your prophet is what? Allah is rebuking him here. He hasn't even come up to the standard of being a prophet who behaves himself and knows how to act with a blind man. He's annoyed and he frowns. Doesn't he know the blind man can't see him? So, okay, I have to go now again. So I haven't completed it. I'll have to complete the whole thing. Thank you so much for being here. All of you, God bless you and your family members. And correct yourself, Salahuddin. So don't put the blame on the Iranian Shia Muslims. Okay? But because there are 40%, she said. So there are 60% still Shia Muslims there in Iran. Thank you so much.